UK. Phil Zimmerman is a stand-up comedian and musician who's been outspoken against, well, pretty much everything, and will be in attendance at this week's geoengineering protest in London. Phil, welcome to the show. There's a protest in London on Saturday against geoengineering in the UK. Can you tell us about the protest?
Yes, so it's a protest that I think is very well timed because seems to be so much awareness about this issue now, and Matt Landsman and Sophie Leanne are organising it, and they're putting a lot into it. They've been planning it for some time, and there's going to be music, and we hope there's going to be a big turnout, I've released my single Lines in the Sky. It's coming out this Friday in support of this event. And I will be performing the song there. And I said there'll be other music as well. So we're hoping it's going to be a really, inspiring event with a big turnout to really, at this time when the government are saying, of course, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a bit, but saying that they're going to be actually experimenting with the idea of dimming the sun using geoengineering as planes spraying substances and possibly boats putting some substances up into the atmosphere. Well, it sounds a bit dubious, but some of us, of course, have been looking at this for a very long time. And I think it's a load of old nonsense because they've been doing this since the 1990s. And I've been aware of what's been going on since around 2010, which really was my big sort of wake-up call for the whole, global conspiracy. That was the thing that got me down the rabbit hole. And I actually wrote the song in 2010, but now is its time to be released, I think.
Got ya. It is funny, isn't it? Because the whole sort of chemtrails, geoengineering thing was a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Then suddenly it wasn't. And that just sort of happened like that without any lead up. I agree with you, Phil. The idea that they're just experimenting with it is a nonsense. They've been doing it for a long, long time. They're now warning as well about the fact that the Russians, those pesky Russians, could be using geoengineering to dim the sun as an act of war against us. And it's like, you just said you're supposed to be doing it. Well, what do you think the whole sort of sun dimming thing is all about?
Well, I mean, it's just another thing to bolster the ridiculous climate change agenda, isn't it? They're trying to make out that, doing this will give human beings more time to sort out their carbon emissions, which is ludicrous. So, we know that, as you said, it's been going on for a very long time, and I think the idea of releasing stuff from boats, by the way, is a stunt to make it look more like this is actually a new thing that's happening now. And they'll be able to point to it and say, oh, there's the boat doing it, releasing the stuff that we're talking about. And there's no toxins in it, of course. It's all fine. We know, well, there's been research done, and the prevailing opinion is that barium, strontium, and aluminium have been raining down on us for a very long time. And if you look at the increase in Alzheimer's and the epidemic of cancer, of course, that's been increased by the whole COVID thing, the fake vaccine. I think it all goes together. The more you look into it, the more you can, as your dad has talked about for so long, connect the dots.
Exactly. So you mentioned you're releasing the single on the 20th of June, so Friday, to coincide with the protest. The song, as you say, is called Lines in the Sky, written a long time ago, but like you say, it's found its time now, and it features some pretty decent musical names from what I was reading as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah, Paul Winterhart from Kula Shaker is playing drums on it, and Johnny Bridgewater, the former bass player in Morrissey's band, is playing bass on it. And Sean Reid is the producer, and it was recorded at Sean Reid's studio, Famous Times, in Hackney, London. And Sean Reed is a former member of the Manic Street Preachers, is now in Dexys as well, and has worked with many top people there in that studio. It's a great studio, a great place to record. I had a great time doing it. And this song is. And we had, a great guitarist on there, Dario Cortese, who's a very good friend of mine. And it really rocks. It really kicks ass. And we're going to have some fun with this song. I want people to come down and sing along, jump around and have a bit of a party. And there's a zombie apocalypse video coming out to accompany the song on Friday, which is kind of having a bit of fun with that idea that, of course, a lot of us that have been talking about this for a long time being called conspiracy theorists. And, this is a bit of a gentle poke at those people that, didn't bother looking up at the sky and thinking that something was going on up there.
Yeah, I mean, every decent song needs a zombie apocalypse video, to be fair, Phil.
I think so.
I mean, it goes without saying. What's the idea behind the song, by the way? In terms of, is it, about maybe trying to raise some funds to try and challenge against the geoengineering, whether that be legally or in the form of protest? Or is it just about raising awareness and doing it in a way that is kind of catchy, people can sing along and the words are going in without necessarily people realizing that they're taking on that knowledge, if you like?
Well, from the actual song itself, the idea of it's a fun song. It's a song that, I mean, I've done the song in my comedy shows, Killing Granny, and actually initially 67 Arseholes, which is the 2018 Edinburgh show, and in the sequel to Killing Granny, which was the show that got banned, Bill Gates Killed My Hamster. It was banned by the woke fundamentalists at Brighton Fringe. But it's a fun song that and those audiences that actually came to see Killing Granny were kind of, both. I had both sides of the, people who'd had the vaccine and people who were activists and hadn't taken it, all joining in. It was kind of united the audience. And one of the things that helped unite the audience was music. Music has a really, I think, unifying power. And because the song is a fun sort of rock punk song, I wanted to make a sort of, humorous sort of video to go along with that. So, I think whether you agree with it or not, we can all have a bit of fun to a good song.
Absolutely.
And also how it fits into the whole picture, really. I mean, I'm making an album which actually encompasses a period of 27 years from when I first wrote this first song that's on the album. And it's an album that's written with 4 different songwriting partnerships. So it's quite unique and it's quite an interesting way that I have that sort of compiled that together, using some recordings that were done a few years ago, more recent recordings, obviously the ones I've been doing with Sean in Hackney, and putting it all together, and it's really sounding great. And, and so they're not all activist songs, but they have a kind of similar ethos. And, I think The Lines in the Sky goes very well with the last single I released in October, which is another big freedom anthem. It's a real sing-along anthem, which I'll also be doing on Saturday in Hyde Park. And it's 2:00, the demo. It's by the Marble Arch entrance to Hyde Park. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I want to use to unify people.
Well, that's the key, Phil. That's the key, mate. Unifying people. So we'll play a clip of the song at the very end of the show. But just finally, where will people be able to get this on Friday when it's released?
Well, it's available on Spotify, streaming, and on iTunes to download it. If you can download it, that'd be great. It helps the algorithm. It'll help it to be picked up and get onto playlists. So it'd be great if we get it into charts. But it's on all the major streaming download platforms. But if you go to my social media, Facebook and Instagram, Phil Zimmerman Music, there's a pre-order download link on there. And on Twitter, it's Phil Zim Music.
Sounds great. Well, good luck with it, Phil. And I hope the protest is enormous. on Saturday. We've been speaking about it for a little while, so hopefully there'll be plenty of people there, and a show of solidarity, but also a bit of a show to the establishment of, hang on, we know what you're up to and we don't like it.
Absolutely.
Cheers, Phil. Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Our final guest this evening joins us from Northern Ireland. Jada Franson is an activist and a political candidate who previously acted as leader of Britain First and is now part of the British Freedom Party.